Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? You and I are in a different spectrum, right? Because here I see, you're thinking this way as a kid. I want to be good, be a good person, honor society, playing sports, all that stuff. Me, I'm like breaking into houses, stealing cars, running from the cops, hooking up with girls. Like it's really just chaos, right?
Yeah.
When you moved, like what started to happen in your life?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's so funny because my sister probably took the path that you took, and I took the opposite path in responding to crisis in our lives. And so when we moved, the first thing that happened, we sold the house that I grew up in. I reconciled with my dad because in my mind, I thought, well, I'm moving to California. I don't know when I'll see him again. And if something ever were to happen to him, I wouldn't want to hold a grudge with him. I would want him to know I forgave him. I think I had come to meet the Lord, like, I became a Christian, and it was one of those things where I was like, "I don't want to live with unforgiveness and having unreconciled relationship with my dad." Like, I loved my dad, and it pained me that for that long I had, held a grudge with him. But it was almost like my way of having power over the decision he made to
Mm.
like, "I'm gonna withhold myself from you because you made this decision to like, that disrupted and divided our family." And then I was like, "This is just that's silly. I'm not gonna hold that over him anymore." And then we moved to California.
Before you go there, I have a
Yeah.
question because when I was a kid, and I think so many people deal with this when they have moments of heartbreak as children, we
Mhm.
become resentful, we push back, we put up gigantic walls. Obviously, you did for a period of time, but then to that place where you're like, I want to reconcile this, like those kind of words did not exist in my vernacular as a kid. I was like, "How the fuck do I burn this house down?"
Yeah.
Right? And so what I'm wondering is where did that come from for you? Is that innate? Is that a part of like the Jamie DNA? Because I'm sitting here like I want to throw a brick through the window, and you're like, I'm gonna go and sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah. No, I do think it was partly, because I became a Christian at that moment, like, in that junior high phase, like, for as much as I knew what it meant to be a Christian, accepting, the death of Jesus on the cross for my sins and my wrongdoing, um, and so that, I think, is what really prompted inside of me that I can't hold unforgiveness towards him. Like, if I am going to identify as a Christian and believe in that, for me, I couldn't hold unforgiveness towards him.
Mm.
I couldn't hold unforgiveness or any, anger or I never was really bitter towards my biological parents. I actually more or less felt it like, what a gift, but also how hard I mean, that's a whole 'nother story, a whole another podcast of all of that stuff, but it just was one of those things, like, I don't know what made me do that, but I would say it was just my faith in God that I couldn't call myself a Christian and then be, like, unforgiving towards my dad.